become a good team in this league, usually you become better when you go to your bench. I mean, Jason Terry's a starter. The good teams have somebody like that they put in there. And he's better than the guys that they have on the floor usually. And so I thought tonight, even though our guys on the floor, I thought that Book and Singleton played really well together. And defensively, we really got after. There's not been many times over the last few years that you've been able to say you won the game because of your defense. But as I said in the pregame, I said defensively our field goal percentage has been going down. We've been holding teams to fewer points, and so we've actually have played better defensively, but we haven't had anything to show for it. So as far as with wins, so I had one interesting. One of my assistants said to me kiddingly, he said, it's January 12th. We're 6.5 games behind Chicago. It's probably the closest we've been to first place in the conference in the last 5 years. So now we can go get them tomorrow.
Hey, Flip, let me get this clear. Did Blatch not start because of an injury, or because you thought that, he would do better coming off the bench?
I talked to him yesterday. And I told him that we were going to bring him off. That we think, but he hurt his shoulder in practice yesterday. His knee's been bothering him, and I told him that we needed some offensive punch and some stability, from the bench. And yesterday we had the team split up. He played with the second unit, so did Richard, and they actually beat the first unit pretty handily. And so I thought that we'd be better, going to that. And so we didn't know this morning if he's going to be able to play because he came in and his knee was sore on his shoulder. But then he got here tonight and he was able to. He said, whatever minutes you need me to play, I'll be able to play.
What about using Mack instead of Crawford to back up John?
I just thought, with Jordan, we let Jordan play the two. He was more effective at the two. You could see it. He just trying to take out some of the, the indecision of playing. And I think that, maybe we weren't being fair to him having him go back and forth when he's really right now more of a two than really a one. And Sheldon's been really steady and professional for us, and I thought he did a nice job when he went in there.
So is this a rotation that you have?
I would like to have a rotation where you play that many guys, the minutes, especially when you're playing, 16 of your next 22 games, 16 games in 22 days. You got a lot of games, and boom, boom, boom.
As of now, is this the lineup you think you're going to use for Chicago and going forward?
I can't tell you that. I give my scouting report to Chicago. I think I have something to think about. So, but yeah, I mean, those groups will play together, because they played well together. And I think that's the main thing.
What about Jan? Just his arms in there.
Arms, energy, length, is knowing how to play. Gets rid of the ball. Seems at the right time. It's over the last few days I had a lot of people call. Just seeing how things are going and that. And the one thing that I talked to a couple NBA coaches, and they said, the hardest thing you really can't teach is that some guys have the knack of knowing when to pass and when to shoot. And he's got the knack of knowing when to get rid of the ball at the right time on the break to get it to the guard. Knows maybe when to keep that extra dribble, let the guard clear, and bust out as far as in that. So he's, like I said, he's long. I mean, he did a heck of a job on Bargnani when he was in there. I mean, really frustrated him.
Sorry, how did you think? I know Trevor guarded Bargnani.
I thought both those guys did a great job. I thought he got a few going in the third quarter, but he had to work for everything, and they kind of wore him down. One guy's a little bit more physical, gets into him lower. The other guy's longer and can use his athleticism and get into him up on top.
Look, there's been a lot of noise nationally. How have you been able to just keep this bunker mentality, just continue to believe in what you're doing and what your coaching staff is doing?
I think because of Ted. It's like Ted even said before the game. He goes, don't listen or anything you hear. He said, hey, we know what we planned and what we've done, and how we're going about doing it, and the times it's going to look bad. He said, we just have to, don't lose sight of where we're trying to get and the process that we're going through, and just keep on working with these guys, keep on trying to get them in situations where they can have success, and the more we work with them off the, as far as off the floor, as far as game days, eventually they're going to keep on getting better and better.
Do you feel like this energy can be infectious going on the road?
I think so. I think I hope so. We got we're playing the two best teams in the East right now. Chicago and Philly are the two best teams in the East, so it'll be a good challenge for us to go. But I think that we're at least going to feel good getting out of playing tonight. We're going to feel good about ourselves. I said so many times that when we don't start, we don't score. So you worry about confidence. That was a positive tonight. We didn't start well, but we had a defensive team in, and it was like one of those, hey, well, if I'm not going to score, you're not going to score. And so we weren't fallen behind because of how hard those guys played as far as together.
You mentioned that you and John had a conversation. How do you think he responded tonight?
I think he responded well. I think he tried to do a few things, but I thought he definitely tried to get the ball to people. He had some great assists. He had some shots that he missed. We just got to keep on working with him as far as in that. And I think sometimes when you're trying to be, a a point guard, not a scoring point guard, but a point guard. Sometimes you're worried about getting guys in the right spots, getting the call, and everything else. And the last thing that comes is your shooting, because all of a sudden that's kind of an afterthought. And I think that's where he's at right now, as far as just trying to get us into offense, get people in the right spots. Tonight he did the best job of all year of understanding when we had mismatches. We had Richard a couple times down low. We got the ball to him low. We had Singleton one time when they had a guard on him. So tonight I thought that he played the game. As far as running the team, the best he's done all year, and I think that he's done his best. Last 3 games, really since Boston, he's been as good in pick and roll defense as he's ever been, and I think that's why our defense has been better. We haven't really lost games just because of our defense. We've lost because we've been so bad offensively.
What was he so irritated by at the very end of the game?
Turnover, because we're calling for our guys to come up with a high pick and roll. They kind of left him out to dry. From that, I don't know if he was mad because I kind of jumped him when he threw that lob pass and we were up 17. And the minutes ago, as I say, you play the right way all the time. Let's not pick up bad habits. And when you close out people, you do it in a fundamental way. But I think he's just because they left him out to dry a little bit, which is is a point.